This World Cup is shaping up to be one of the greatest World Cup in the history of the tournament. And in this World Cup, the 48 team expansion has provided nothing short of chaos, entertainment, thrillers, memories, both forgetful and unforgettable. We've had thrilling matches like the Cape Verde versus Argentina. We have the Portugal versus Croatia. We have the France versus Paraguay. We have the Senegal versus Belgium. We have Morocco versus Netherlands and many other games. And in these games, it was roller coaster of emotions. For example, now we have the Argentina and Cape Verde game. In that game, Cape Verde went to that game as underdog. Argentina could not beat Cape Verde in a normal 90 minutes game. It took extra time and an own goal, as well as coupled with Messi's brilliance to send Cape Verde home, who on their own wrote a beautiful story. You know that Cape Verde did not lose any group stage games to make it to the round of 32. In this World Cup, which happens to be their first ever World Cup, they did not lose a single 90 minutes game, which means 4 games played, 3 draws, and they had to lose on extra time, which is an impressive story for Cape Verde. We also have other small countries like Egypt, who won their first ever World Cup game in this tournament, as well as winning their first ever World Cup knockout games in this tournament. Also, we have other countries like Paraguay. We have Croatia, who debuted for the first time and who also give us good performance. We also have countries like South Africa, who qualified for the round of 32 for the first time in their history. So this World Cup has provided us with a lot of history, a lot of thrillers, a lot of roller coaster of emotions here and there. And then we have individual players performing at top level. There's Messi, there's Mbappe, there's Harry Kane, there's Haaland, there's Vinicius Junior, there's Oyarzabal, there's Ismail Assar. There are a lot of players. Do you know that Mbappe already have 7 goals and 2 assists? Messi have 7 goals already in this competition. Harry Kane have 5 goals already, and Haaland have 5 goals. Vinicius have 4 goals. For contest's sake, do you know that in 2018, Harry Kane won the World Cup Golden Boot with just 6 goals? And right now, Messi and Mbappe are already on 7 goals with 3 games to spare. That says a lot about this competition. At first, I had my reservation. I was thinking that, because of the influx of the new low-quality teams, this competition will not be as entertaining as it would be because most games are going to be walkover. I kid you not, that is the most false statement I have ever made. You know that Paraguay and Cape Verde came with the intention to knock out France and Argentina respectively? It is crazy. These guys are not chilling. They are not. They prove that they were not here to make up numbers. Also, in this same tournament, Messi is on 8 World Cup games scoring run. He has scored the 8th consecutive World Cup game. The first time in history that anybody has ever done it. Mbappe has extended his record as the player with the most knockout goal in the history's competition, and he's just a very young player. So what is there to talk about in this competition? Do you also know that Turkey has been the most disappointing team in this tournament? They did not qualify. In fact, they won only 1 game in the group stage after they've been knocked out. In fact, that game was without pressure. There were a lot of things to talk about at this World Cup. There were a lot of Cinderella stories. We need to talk, especially give regards to Cape Verde for their incredible performance in this tournament. They came and said, especially Bosnia, oh my God, the legendary keeper who kept Cape Verde in the game throughout. So kudos to them. Also, a quick shout out to the African teams. 10 African teams made it to this World Cup and 9 qualified to the round of 32, and 2 have just qualified to the round of 16. Egypt for the first time, and Morocco are doing it for the back-to-back quarterfinal qualification, back-to-back. The first time an African team has done it, the second time for Morocco, and the second time an African team has done it, and we are hoping that Morocco makes it to the semi-final.